Hello. Welcome everyone to the second lecture of Module 1. The theme is Types of Plagiarism. So, today we are going to talk about plagiarism types. Before discussing, let me announce something about the assignment. Every lesson in each module are associated with some assignment for you. Do as your own to revise your learning, and practice those for better understanding. Okay, similar to the previous lecture, take the quiz at the end to test your learning. As we discussed in the previous lesson, plagiarism is an unethical means of academic integrity. The plagiarism may take many forms, but primarily there are two types of plagiarism, namely intentional plagiarism and unintentional plagiarism. Intentional plagiarism is also called as plagiarism by choice or conscious plagiarism, because the author openly violates the rules and policies of academic integrity by knowing that breaking of policies are wrong. Whereas, in case of unintentional plagiarism, the author is irresponsible towards policy and rules. It is also called as plagiarism by ignorance or unconscious plagiarism. Whatever the type of plagiarism, it is a serious offense. Now, we will walk through the comparison between these two types of plagiarism. Intentional plagiarism is knowingly presenting others' ideas or work as your own. Whereas, unintentional plagiarism is unknowingly presenting others' ideas or work due to lack of understanding. Intentional plagiarism is also called as purposeful plagiarism or deliberate plagiarism, because here the writer knowledgeably plagiarizes others' work. Whereas, unintentional plagiarism is known as purposeless plagiarism or accidental plagiarism, because here the writer accidentally falls into plagiarism. Intentional plagiarism is also called as conscious plagiarism, whereas, unintentional plagiarism is called as unconscious plagiarism. In case of intentional plagiarism, the author openly violates the research policy and research ethics. But in case of unintentional plagiarism, the author unknowingly violates the research policy and research ethics. In both cases, it's illegal. Let's discuss each aspects of both plagiarism scenario. Under intentional plagiarism, the first aspect is ghostwriting. Ghostwriter is someone who write your work on your behalf. The first aspect of ghostwriting is engaging. Here, the author engaged someone else to write a thesis, or a research article, or a term paper, or an assignment on his or her behalf. The most interesting fact is that the ghostwriter does not claim the authorship but claim money. Mostly, the ghostwriters are connected with essay writing hub or writing company. Students are connected with ghostwriter by means of these hub or company, which operates as intermediator. The student does not know which person is writing their paper, as there is no direct contact between the ghostwriter and the student. In order to avoid such plagiarism, students have to learn how to research and how to write paper, so that they can easily write and document their own paper. Another case under this aspect is buying, where the author purchases a pre-written paper either by electronic means, or by post, or by mail. Similar to previous, in this case, the author and the ghostwriter have no direct contact. The author buy custom written paper or any well-written paper from paper mills or any writing service provider. Another aspect under this is paying or contract cheating. Here, the author pay money to someone for writing a part of the paper or full paper on his or her behalf. Here, the ghostwriter and the author may have direct contact. In such case, the ghostwriter writes paper on behalf of the author by taking money. Ghostwriting is completely unethical. If you are engaging someone to write your paper, then what you perceived in your research study? Ask this question to yourself. That person to whom you give your paper to write, is first of all, that person is not familiar with your field of study. Secondly, your paper may not have any ethical value with respect to your study. So stay away from such things. Instead of doing this, I advised you, if you are a student, and you are facing any type of problem in your research study and research writing, please consult to your supervisor, because your supervisor is the experienced person in your area of study. The supervisor can help you more in your research study and writing. And if you are a research scholar, and collaborating with different researchers, then discuss with them, which leads you to a better and significant research writing. Next aspect under intentional plagiarism is photocopy. In layman language, photocopy means copying from other sources. Here, the first aspect is word-for-word plagiarism, which is also called as cloning. This is the easiest way of plagiarism, where the author simply copy and paste the materials of other. Hence, this form of plagiarism is also called as copy-paste plagiarism. The author copies others' work word for word and claiming as own work. The character sequence, grammar, spaces, punctuation marks of plagiarized text is same to the original text. Another interesting fact is that this copy-paste plagiarism is easy to detect. Another one under this is copying. In this case, the author copies significant portion of text from a single source without alteration. The author copies the significant amount of required text from others' work. Another case is verbatim. This is the copying of others' works without providing proper attribution and quotation. The author do not give credit to others' work. This is completely unethical practice. Next one is collective gathering, sometimes called potluck. As from its name, you can understood, it's a means of collect and gather. The first aspect under this is shake and paste plagiarism. Here, the author copy text from several different sources, and modify the sentences to make them fit in the research. The author assembled the copied text and write the paper, but there is no logical order in such writings. The paragraphs are well shaken and organized in random fashion. This type of plagiarism can be easily detectable. Another case under collective gathering is mashup. Here, the author collect and paste, but don't acknowledge the original sources. Means, the author shaken well the copied text, and don't give any credit. Next one is masking. In this case, the author retained the essential content of the source, but altered the appearance of paper by changing keywords, sentences, and phrases. This resembles the original text in terms of synonyms and structural reforms, hence easily detectable. Next one is paraphrase. Paraphrasing is taking others' writing, and changing the words, making that appear as an original one, but in truth, it came from an cited source. Paraphrasing ranges from simple rephrasing to completely rewriting content while maintaining the original idea or concept. The author intentionally rewrites original sources without acknowledgement. Paraphrasing may be simple or hybrid. In simple paraphrasing, the author presents others' work in some constructed way by switching words, changing grammar structure, or changing sentence structure. While in Mosaic or hybrid paraphrasing, the author combines multiple sources, and presents others' work in different way by changing sentence pattern and structure, and replacing words with synonyms. In either case, the author fails to give credit. Next one is self-plagiarism. This happens when the author reuses his or her own previous work without proper attribution, and violating the policies. It also happens in repetitive research, when the author repeats similar study with similar methodology, without proper attribution. Self-plagiarism is the partial or complete reproduction of own writings without proper acknowledgement, and claiming as new and original one. Self-plagiarism is also called as self-stealing plagiarism, or recycled plagiarism. Self-plagiarism involves republishing the already published own paper elsewhere without attribution. This is called duplication or dual publication. Reusing own published data and materials without acknowledgement. Publishing smaller or larger part of own work without proper acknowledgement. Paraphrasing own previously published work without proper acknowledgement. Breaking of own previously published larger study into smaller sections and publishing as new one. This is called as redundancy publication. All these circumstances comes under self-plagiarism. Next aspect of intentional plagiarism is invalid sources. Invalid sources attribution occurs when author reference either an incorrect or non-existing source. The first case under invalid source is misleading citation. This has happened due to improper citation by the author. This happens if the author fails to use proper citation technique. The second case is fabrication. Here the author fabricates the research, means without any investigation and research study, the author mentioned the research outcomes. The third case is falsification. Here the author provides a false study and inaccurate information regarding the sources, making it impossible to find them. The next aspect of intentional plagiarism is author perspective plagiarism. This type of plagiarism happened due to unethical approach done by the author. The first case under this is replication, also called as author submission violation. Replication is the submission of a paper to multiple publication, resulting in the same manuscript being submitted more than once. This is completely unethical. The second case is misleading attribution, also called as inaccurate authorship. It is the inaccurate or insufficient list of authors who contributed to a manuscript. This happens when authors are denied credit for partial or significant contributions made to a study, or the opposite, when authors are cited in a paper although no contribution were made. The third case is collusion, also called as unethical or unauthorized collaboration. This happens when those are working together violate a code of conduct. Also, it happens when collaborations have no link for a particular study means randomly chosen. Collusion is defined as the illegal cooperation between authors. It's a form of academic dishonesty. Next one is translational plagiarism. Here, the author select a text portion from others' original work, and then translate and subsequently modify the text, and represents as new one. It is the manual or automated conversion of text from one language to another without proper attribution. If a native speaker reads such paper, then it's easy to detect the plagiarism. Next one is idea theft. The idea may be a theory, an explanation, a hypothesis, a conclusion, a metaphor or a saying. Here, the author borrowed idea or solution from other sources and claim as their own. It also happens when author incorporate others' idea without giving credit to the originator. Next comes to second type of plagiarism, that is unintentional plagiarism. The first type of plagiarism under this is forgotten footnote. Footnotes are given numerically at the end of the page. Footnotes are the essential when you are given quoting to someone else's work in your study. Without proper attribution, it will lead you to a path of plagiarism. If the author forgot to put the footnote under such condition, then it comes under plagiarism. The next aspect is failure to quote. Sometimes author forgot to put a quotation mark around a word, or a paraphrase or sentence or a paragraph, while incorporating others' work. This should be done with proper care to avoid plagiarism. The next aspect is failure to cite source. Sometimes author forgot to cite the source. This happens when a large number of references has to be placed. To avoid such mistake, reference management tools are used. The next one is incorrect paraphrase. This is also called as paraphrasing poorly. This happens when the author changes few words without changing the sentence structure or a paragraph without citation. Whatever the case of plagiarism, it's illegal. So, in order to make distance from plagiarism, learn and more importantly develop your skills. Now, let's test your learning by appearing the quizzes. You will get 10 seconds for answering each questions. Let's begin. The first question, which is not a form of plagiarism? The options are 1. Direct plagiarism, 2. Patchwork plagiarism, 3. Collusion, 4. Self-plagiarism, 5. None of these. Your time starts now. Which one is right? The right answer is option 5, none of these. All of these are different form of plagiarism. Next question, is it possible to plagiarize your own work? What do you think about this statement? The options are 1, true, 2, false. Your time starts now. Which one is right? The right answer is option 1, true. This type of plagiarism is called self-plagiarism, and is unethical. Next question, for collaboration works, a student did not mention the collaborators' names. Is it plagiarism? The options are 1, yes, 2, no. Your time starts now. Which one is right? Option 1 is right. It is an unhealthy collaboration, which falls under plagiarism. Next question, me and my friend work on a class assignment and split the questions in half. This is not considered as plagiarism because we agreed to do. What do you think about this statement? The options are 1, true, 2, false. Your time starts now. Which one is right? Option 2 is correct. This type of work is called unethical collaboration and comes under plagiarism. Although you have personal permission to use your friend's answer on your assignment, you are still presenting their ideas to the audience as your own idea. Also, if the class assignment is meant for individual task, then collaborating with your friend and presenting this collaborated work as individual work is unethical practice. Hence, this is plagiarism. Next question, can plagiarism be unintentional? The options are 1. Plagiarism is never unintentional. 2. Plagiarism is always unintentional. 3. Yes, it can be unintentional. Your time starts now. Which one is right? The right answer is option 3, it can be unintentional. The easy and effective way to avoid unintentional plagiarism is that you have to properly understand your research and how appropriately incorporate your understanding into your writings. Next question, if you collaborate with a student on a research paper or assignment, you must need official approval for your collaboration. The options are 1. True, 2. False. Your time starts now. Which one is right? The right answer is option 1, true. If you are collaborating without official approval, then it comes under unethical collaboration. Next question, if a student uses others' writing without acknowledgement, then does it comes under plagiarism? The options are 1, yes, 2, no. Your time starts now. Which one is right? Option 1 is right. Without crediting the source while using others' work is a means of intentional plagiarism. Next question. Mashup is the type of plagiarism which takes place when the options are 1. Copying information from the source without giving credit to the original author. 2. Copying information from one source and citing another source. 3. Copying information from multiple sources, combine it and forgets to acknowledge all properly. 4. Copying information by changing few words and providing correct citation. Your time starts now. Which one is right? Option 3 is correct. Mashup is a plagiarism, where writer copy information from multiple sources, and writes it without giving credit. Next question, how unintentional plagiarism occur? The options are 1. If you are unfamiliar with citation standards and rules. 2. If you learn different rules in high school that are not appropriate in university. 3. If you are in a rush while writing and forgot to acknowledge. 4. All of the above. Your time starts now. Which one is right? Option 4 is correct. In order to avoid unintentional plagiarism, you have to well acquainted with research standards, rules and documentation. Next question, is it possible to plagiarize myself? The options are 1. Yes, 2. No. Your time starts now. Which one is right? The right answer is option 1, yes. This case fall under self-plagiarism. If you reuse your materials from your works, then you must cite it. Next question, you ask your friend to write a paper for you. Is this plagiarism? The options are 1. Yes, 2. No. Your time starts now. Which one is right? Option 1 is correct. Next question, you buy a term paper from a website and turn it in as your own work. Is this plagiarism? The options are 1. Yes, 2. No. Your time starts now. Which one is right? The right answer is option 1. Yes. Next question, copying from the internet without using quotation marks and without citation is always plagiarizing. The options are 1. True, 2. False. Your time starts now. Which one is right? The right answer is option 1, true. If you are copying and pasting, it comes under direct plagiarism. Next question, you have given with a situation. Find the correct answer. Last semester you wrote an essay on cultural diversity in India for Professor X's Indian Cultures and Diversity course. This semester you are taking a course entitled Cultural Glory, The Untold Colors of India, and Professor Y has assigned you a paper topic that resembles Indian cultures and lifestyle. It would be very easy for you to retool whole sections of your first essay to satisfy the requirements of the second. It is acceptable practice to resubmit this paper without checking with either professor because you are writing a paper for a different professor and for a different course. The options are 1. Agree, 2. Disagree. Your time starts now. Which one is right? Option 2 is right answer. You need to check with both Professor X and Professor Y before resubmitting the paper. If you were to superficially revise the paper and submit it without prior approval from both professor, you would be committing self-plagiarism by dual submission. Next question, which of these is not considered as intentional plagiarism? The options are 1. Buying papers. 2. Word-for-word copying from a source without the use of quotation marks. 3. Patchwork plagiarism. 4. Paraphrasing without complete citations. 5. None of these. Your time starts now. Which one is right? Option 5 is correct, because all of these are a form of intentional plagiarism. Next question, if you put someone else's ideas into your own words and then pass those ideas off as your own, you are committing plagiarism. The options are 1. True, 2. False. Your time starts now. Which one is right? The correct answer is option 1, true. Such plagiarism scenario is called idea stealing. Next question, I can use someone else's ideas, as long as I use my own language. What do you think about this statement? The options are 1. True, 2. False. Your time starts now. Which one is right? Option 2 is right. Next question, you have given with a situation. Find the correct answer. You are writing a research paper. You have cut and pasted a lot of information from articles you found on websites into a Word file on your computer. While writing, you lost track of which ideas were your own and which were from various articles and websites. You consider going back to the original sources, but due to less time you can't. In any case, if your professor queries your sources, you can say that you didn't intentionally plagiarize, and this will result in a lesser punishment. The options are 1. Agree, 2. Disagree. Your time starts now. Which one is right? Option 2 is correct. Unintentional plagiarism is still intellectual theft and results in punishment. Next question, borrowing someone else's ideas or words, but failing to properly document the original source is called. The options are 1. Self-plagiarism, 2. Paraphrasing, 3. Copying, 4. None of these. Your time starts now. Which one is right? Option 2 is correct. Next question, copying and pasting from the internet without quotation marks but citing the source is not plagiarism. The options are 1. True, 2. False. Your time starts now. Which one is right? Option 2 is right answer. Next question, my friend or other helped me with the paper. They wrote or rewrote part or all of it in order to make it more interesting, more authoritative, or smarter. This was not plagiarism. I simply got some help. What do you think about this statement? The options are 1. True, 2. False. Your time starts now. Which one is right? Option 2 is correct. This is a kind of academic dishonesty. You are presenting others' ideas and effort as your own, resulting with plagiarism. Next question, you borrow an essay written by another student and then submit it as your own work. Is this plagiarism? The options are 1, yes, 2, no. Your time starts now. Which one is right? The right answer is option 1, yes. This is intentional plagiarism. Next question, if you plagiarize by mistake, is it plagiarism? The options are 1, yes, 2, no. Your time starts now. Which one is right? Option 1 is correct. No mistake is excuse. It's a plagiarism. Next question, a student is working on a project, and they use parts of their previous projects in their writing. They don't use any quotation marks or never mention the previous project's name on this one. Is it plagiarism? The options are 1, yes, 2, no. Your time starts now. Which one is right? The answer is option 1, yes. It's called self-plagiarism. Next question, you find the work of another student on the computer and take it away with you. You retype their work making some changes. Is this acceptable? The options are 1, yes, 2, no. Your time starts now. Which one is right? Option 2 is correct. Stealing others' work and presenting as your own is a means of plagiarism. Next question, if I use, verbatim, a sentence from a source, then I need only to cite it in order to avoid the charge of plagiarism. The options are 1, true, 2, false. Your time starts now. Which one is right? Option 2 is correct. Only citing the verbatim sentence doesn't avoid plagiarism. You have to quote around the sentence. Next question, because what is on the internet is in public domain, I don't have to cite a source for anything I use from the internet. The options are 1, true, 2, false. Your time starts now. Which one is right? The right answer is option 2. Although the things on internet is for public knowledge, it's not in public domain. Copyright still exists which belongs to the original author or creator or publisher. Remember that every public domain material is not a non-copyrighted material. Some may subject to copyright law. Next question, you forget to cite a source in your paper. Is it still plagiarism? The options are 1, true, 2, false. Your time starts now. Which one is right? Option 1 is correct. It's an unintentional plagiarism. Next question, you are using someone's quotes or copying the exact paragraph without giving quotation marks. Are you plagiarizing? The options are 1, yes, 2, no. Your time starts now. Which one is right? The right answer is option 1. It is called the act of plagiarism to copy the paragraph or quotation of others. In such case, you must give a proper citation and use quotation to write such a part. Next question, you are downloading an article from a website and now submitting it as your own work. Will it be considered as plagiarism? The options are 1, yes, 2, no. Your time starts now. Which one is right? The right answer is option 1. It is considered as plagiarism because you are presenting others' work as your own. You are using others' copyrighted work without giving credit. It can lead you to legal case. Now your homework is on the way. Do it as your own. The first assignment is, you may carried out any academic project or dissertation. Do you ever came across any of these types of plagiarism? Analyze which form of plagiarism you found on your project or dissertation, and write in comment section. The second one is, which types of plagiarism scenario is mostly seen in case of undergraduate students? Write your answer in comment section. The next one is, what is the most vulnerable area on your field, which affects you to do plagiarism? If any, comment below. Thank you very much for concentrating in the entire lecture. Hope you enhance your knowledge and learning.